Hey guys, welcome back for another update video. It is 5 p.m. on Friday, May 29th. The week of trading just finished and I made out perfectly fine. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but just taking a look at the big board here, looks like tech kind of rallied back a little bit today. Google was up 1%, Microsoft up 1%. The semiconductor sector really popped. I mean, look, Intel up 2%, Nvidia up 4.5%. AMD, my favorite, up almost 4% on the day. Micron up 3%, so this was a good day for the semiconductor business. But I had a bit of a scare again today, and let's go to my AMD stock because I had 5 contracts, 5 cash secured puts that had sold on AMD this past Tuesday that were expiring today. And let's just take a look because we opened the day and we stayed in the day green all day, which is what I thought we were going to do because we closed in the red yesterday. So I thought we'd have a slight pop in the morning. But if you look, we opened at 52.15. And if you remember from my last videos, I had 2 puts on at the $52 strike. And then I also had 3 puts at the $50 strike. The 50s I wasn't concerned about at all week long. But the 52s I was, because it's kind of been touching the $52 level for a few times this week, and we did it again today. So we opened around 52. It looks like we got all the way down. We dipped below 52. Then we rallied, but we never really got up to 53. We were always kind of trading in the mid 50s all day long. And then at around 2:45, Trump had a presser on, and he was going to discuss his essentially ongoing trade war with China. So I was really scared because I thought that the market in general was going to just start tanking as soon as he started talking. And it's funny because I was watching the market live, and I kid you not, the moment he opened his mouth, all of the stocks, all of the ETFs just started crushing down. I mean, you can see right here, 245, AMD went from 52.43 all the way to 52.18 in a matter of 5 minutes, 10 minutes almost. But, you know, once I saw that, I thought, you know what, it was game over. Now I just have to make sure that my $50 puts are secure and I don't get assigned all 5 contracts or 500 shares. But for some unknown reason, after that quick dip, the market just took off like a rocket. I mean, look at AMD, went from $52.18 at 2:55 p.m. all the way up to $53.74. It gained over $1 in literally an hour, 2:55 to 3:55. So during power hour, when, you know, I kind of jinxed myself because in my last video from yesterday, I said during power hour, the stocks usually just tank. Well, the opposite happened today. During power hour, all the stocks shot up. And you can see that AMD is still trading sideways after hours, well over the $53 level, which is perfect for me because my 50 and especially my $52 puts should be secure. So I should collect $200 of premium from this week alone from the past 4 trading days, because remember, Memorial Day, there was no trading going on, and I should not get assigned any shares of stock. So I should have 100% of my cash available come Monday to possibly put on more trade options for next week. Now, if you caught that, the key word I said was I should not get assigned any shares. And I say should because I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but when you sell or buy options, the period that your options get exercised is not at the end of day or at the end of the market at, let's say, 4 p.m. Eastern time. You actually have an extra hour and 30 minutes after the market closes during after hours, during which your options can get assigned or exercised, I should say. So what that means is I'm not safe completely until 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, or an hour and a half after the market closes. So what I was scared of happening today was I thought AMD was just going to trade in the low $52 levels all day long and just trade sideways. And let's say we close the day at $52.18. Well, at the moment, I would have been above my $52 strike price. However, even though the market's closed, a lot of platforms like Robinhood or other brokerages will allow you to do after hours trading. So although the volume is very low, people are still able to buy and sell shares, and the price of the stock still moves. So it would have been possible that even though, let's just say hypothetically, that AMD was $52.01 just for added measure. Let's say AMD closed the day at 4 p.m. at $52.01. So my puts were safe because it was above $52. Well, if at 4:01 or 4:15 or 5:01 or even 5:29 p.m. there's a big sell-off that makes the stock go down to 51.99, then my option is going to get exercised. So you're not completely safe from having your options exercised until an hour and a half after the market closes. And not a lot of people know that. So you can't just say, oh, the market's closed, I'm all good to go. That's not true. So just keep that in mind. Now, the one thing I was thinking about as I saw the market trading, like I said, in the low $52 range all day long on AMD was, if I don't want to risk it, why don't I just buy my two $52 strike price options back and close out the position? Because so much time decay has occurred from Tuesday when I bought it that I could have bought the options back for about 5 cents a contract. And I checked because I thought about doing this. So if you remember from my video on Tuesday, I sold those two $52 puts for 64 cents a contract. And I had the possibility of buying them back around 3 p.m. today for about 5 cents a contract. So, I took a gamble, and a lot of you are probably listening to this and saying, wow, that was pretty dumb, because you were risking getting assigned shares for literally an extra $5 in profit per contract, or for $10. And I thought about that, but the reason I didn't do that is not because I wanted to make the extra $10, but I mean, who doesn't want to make the extra $10? It's because I wanted to get assigned the shares, or I really didn't care if I got assigned shares, because I knew this is what AMD would do. If I got in at AMD at 52, I was confident that come Monday or whenever next week, AMD was going to be above $52 and I could cash out or sell off my shares very easily for a profit. So that's why I didn't close out my position. In all honesty, I probably would have made more money if I got assigned the shares, because like I said, AMD is trading at 53 right now after hours. I'm willing to bet that come Monday morning, as long as no crazy negative news comes out over the weekend, I'm willing to bet AMD is going to open up at 53 or higher. So if I did get assigned 200 shares at 52, that's an easy $200 I could make as soon as the market opens Monday. So I sort of wanted to get assigned shares. That's why I didn't close out my position. But for you guys out there, if you're ever in a spot where the stock is flirting with your strike price and you really don't want to get assigned shares, you can still just close the position out and you're still going to be profitable. And the reason you're profitable is because of Theta Decay. And Theta is time. So what that means is, so much time has already passed from when I opened my contract on Tuesday to today. I mean, basically almost 4 trading days has passed. So Theta, like I said, works in our favor. The people that sell options, I've told you before that time is on your side. And this is what I mean by that. So the flip side of this is, I sold these contracts. That means somebody bought them from me. So you always have to think about it that way, that when you're making money, someone else on the other end of your transaction is losing money. So that person that bought these contracts, they could only sell them for 5 cents, whereas I could buy them back for 5 cents, right? That's the transaction. So like I've said before, time is always on the seller side. And like I've also said before, time is always against the buyer. The people that buy options, they need the strike to move in their direction. But not only that, they need to move in their direction quickly. There will be times where if you ever decide to buy an option, that the stock could move in your direction, but if it's not done fast enough, you'll still end up losing money because of theta or time decay. So in this example, this is a great example of that, because let's say somebody bought this option and now they want to sell it. Well, so much time has eaten away that it wouldn't have been profitable for them, even though that they got the direction of the stock right. So on Tuesday, when I sold my $52 put, that means somebody bought my $52 put from me. And because I sold it for 64 cents, that means they bought it for 64 cents. So on the other end of my transactions, someone owns or is holding a $52 put that they bought. And if they waited till the end of day today, let's say, to sell it or try and sell it for profit, it was only worth 5 cents. Even though when I sold them the option, AMD was trading at around $55, $56, and the stock moved in their direction. It went down, which is what they thought it would do. It went down to $52.18, which is really close to the $52 option price. Even though it moved in their direction, so much time ate away at their profits that they weren't profitable from that. And this is the real reason, this is the key reason why I never buy options. Because why do I want time to work against me? This is why I only sell options. Because one, I don't necessarily have to have the stock move in direction that I want it to, but more importantly, I can use time to my advantage. So with every passing minute, every hour, every day, I'm slowly getting more profit just with the passage of time. So that's really the crux of Theta Gang and the wheel strategy, is using time to your advantage. Time is on your side. And just to do a quick calculation, right, because 64 cents or $64 per contract is what I sold them for. If I wanted to, I could have bought them back for $5. So I would have made times 2. I would have made $118 if I had bought the options back as opposed to $128. But like I said, it all worked out for me in the end because I didn't care. I almost wanted to get the shares assigned. So I ended up making $200 this week in premium and have no shares assigned. And let's just take a quick look at the chart for AMD. So here's the chart for AMD, and you can see, again, it didn't move much at all, but it's still traded within this light blue area between the Fibonacci levels that are 61.8% and 78.6%, roughly between the $50 and $70 or $50.80 strike price and the $54.43 stock price. So that's what AMD did this week. Let's just take a quick look at IWM because it also it's been having a good week. It's been going up and up and up. Had a dip a little bit today and yesterday, but still trading within this dark green area between prices of about 132 or 133 and 141. So maybe I'll look into getting into some more IWM next week because when it was above 140, I really didn't want to get in because it looks like it was peaking. It's come down a little bit to 138. I really like to get back into the low 130s because that way I can sell puts in the high 120s again. But we'll see what IWM does over the weekend. But I'm really liking IWM so far because it's fairly volatile in a good way, meaning it has good moves up and down. So if I do get assigned shares like I did before, I can sell them off, hopefully, as long as the overall market is not going down. And because it's a ETF of 2,000 stocks, it's pretty well diversified. And let's just take a quick look at Micron. You know, I said in my last video yesterday that I missed this pop in Micron, but I like that it came back down to earth. It rallied back up again today to around $48 almost. I might look into getting into Micron because it looks like it's trading in this range of about, let's say, low 40s, $42, and its peak of about $51. So really between $40 and $50, it's kind of been staying in that range. So if Micron drops down a little bit more, or maybe I'll sell like a low $40 put next week just to feel the stock out and see what it does. Maybe one contract I'll play with. But I'm really liking Micron as well. And I have to do a little bit more research in Micron, and maybe someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think the one benefit of Micron compared to AMD and Nvidia is that I believe Micron is a predominantly US based company. So if there's trade wars with China or even fear of trade wars, I think Micron is a better stock than getting into AMD or Nvidia because they're not as exposed to the US-China trade war. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments below, but I think that's correct. So it might be better, if we do go into a trade war, because during Trump's presser this evening, he basically just smashed China. And that's why people are surprised that the market went up, because everyone was expecting the market to go down on talks of a trade war. Maybe it'll happen this weekend. I don't know. It was just a very weird power hour this evening, but I have to look into that, because if that's the case and Micron is pretty secure from this trade war talk, then that would be a good stock to option trade on. And if you do get assigned shares, it should be okay and keep going up so you can sell them off. But again, don't quote me on that. I have to do a little bit more research this weekend and I'll get back to you. And then the other stock I want to talk about is Space. And it really did nothing again today like I thought it was going to. Just traded sideways. It's really at this Fibonacci level, the 23.6% Fibonacci level, and it's trading at around $17 and some change. I think this stock, and myself included, is just waiting to see what the SpaceX launch does this weekend. Because I think even though they're not the same company, just because they're in the aerospace, sector, I think if the SpaceX launch goes well, I think the space stock will rise as well too. But on the flip side, if the SpaceX launch doesn't go well, I think this will also drop down as well. But that's also assuming that the launch happens, because maybe if there's bad weather on Saturday, the launch won't happen again and it'll just get pushed out further. But it'll be interesting, because I think, let's say on this weekend the SpaceX launch happens and it goes well, it's a success. Well, it might be worthwhile getting into some puts on Space come Monday morning, because it might maybe gap up or open up at a higher price. And if that does happen, because right now it's trading right at the 23.6% Fibonacci level at around $17, if it does gap up into like $18, $19, $20 range Monday morning, I think if you sell a put less than 17, around $15, $16, in theory, again, if you believe in technical analysis, you should be secure, should be relatively safe. It looks like, in the past, when it's rallied past 17, it's always come close to 17. It looks like it traded sideways here, dipped below, came back up, dipped below, came back up, then it finally dipped and stayed below. So it looks like this is a pretty significant support level for Space. So I would have to keep an eye on that. I'll obviously let you know this weekend what my options are that I'm thinking about making plays on next week. I have to do a little bit more research and get back to you. But overall, I can't complain. It was a very good week. I made $200. And let's just do a quick calculation as to my return on risk. So I had 52 plus 52 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 times 100. So I had $25,400 at risk tied up in my 5 contracts of AMD. And so I made $200 in premium off that $25,400. So my return on risk for this week was almost 0.8%, which is fabulous. It's fantastic. And just to do a quick and dirty annualization, if I could do this every week consistently, that's almost a 41% return on my money in a year. That's crazy talk. I mean, that's crazy. So we'll see if we can keep this momentum up. I mean, so far, knock on wood, all of my trades have been moving in my favor, even when I get assigned stock. So, I know a lot of people have been suggesting why I don't trade spreads or why I don't do other strategies. Well, if it works, keep doing it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So let me know how you did this week. Hopefully it was beneficial for you as well. Let me know what stocks you're thinking about playing next week. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, happy trading.